Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Tania. And today I'm going to be reading from my first poetry collection titled Home is a Food Group and I'm Malnourished. It's yet to be published, so if you're in the publishing business or you know someone and you like what you hear, you know where to find me. But jokes aside, this is a very personal collection about home, living in the diaspora, migration, third culture, and depending on my and your bandwidth, I will be reading from 4 to 5 poems and pausing in between to give us just a moment to digest. And if you feel moved, you can snap your fingers. We can all just practice together for a second. Yes, thank you. Okay, so this is the first poem, and it's titled Welcome to My Table. I search for myself in Arab grocery stores, scanning their aisles for things I don't have to learn about or explain myself to. Things that already know me. A bag of bread that visited my dining table every night. Heaps of green lounging on my mother's chopping board. Fruit peering from bags my father carried in 39 degrees. 7 spices with no one to exoticize their name. They can just be 7 spices. I entangle my tongue, readying it for a language that won't open doors for me in this new world, but which I still keep for shrinking circles and small talk with cashiers. Our eyes meet, mine trying to remember, his trying to forget. You watch us from a distance, you wonder what we talk about. You are always watching from a distance while we search for ourselves. Thank you. Mother tongue. To think of language as leisure is a privilege. Of your tongue as a soft, living thing moving with the currents of desire. A curious creature warming its frigid muscle under the southern sun. My tongue is a sharp letter opener, slashing through envelopes sent by governments kind enough to host me, but not kind enough to let me stay, unless I add my mouth to their colonies. To think of language without grief is a privilege. I've met so many versions of myself, I no longer remember which one is mine. My mother tongue still lingers on my mother's tongue, making her a perpetual outsider and easy target. To not have to think about language at all is a privilege. To not have to worry about crossing lines, to move through the world with the currents of desire. To never have to meet a version of yourself that you didn't get to choose, even when you were explicitly told that the choice is entirely yours. Domestic violence. I want to show you home, but I can't. Home was a cage that I dug my way out of, and I'm afraid if we visit, the gatekeepers will realize they've made a mistake. I'd have to go back to living a life on the other side where I'm seen as a less than, a spectacle, a human-like creature you read morbid tales of. Home is a wound that won't stop gushing. A sore place that everyone keeps running into as if on purpose, something that refuses to heal, that no one can diagnose, and I'm afraid it's contagious. What if I show you home? What if I show you home and you catch it too? Now something in you is hurting and it's my fault. Home. Home is where you find things the way you left them, and it gives you comfort. But someone went into my home and set it on fire, and I can't bear to see the ashes with my own eyes, to smell the death in my foundation. The arsonists like to say that they didn't mean to start the fire. But I saw their fucking names signed all over my scorched walls. Home is a tame being and you're its master. But mine has fangs. Mine has fangs and claws and thick skin. It growls at me like a beast in a trap, caught. Like a beast in a trap, caught chewing its own limb off. My home is beautiful and wild. My home is wild, undomesticated, violent. I want to show it to you, but I can't. I know this is more on the heavier side, so maybe we can take a collective breath. This is a little bit softer. This one is called The Moon Knows My Real Name. And just for some context, I'm third culture, so my mom and my dad are from different nationalities. My father is Lebanese and my mom is Azeri. The moon knows my real name. Before I could ever think of home, I felt it. Words would fall out of my mouth and someone would catch them without changing the sound of their landing. The willows whispered my name while I hid behind their swaying strands. I called them something else then, yet they still weep in every tongue I have. At night, I would stare back at darkness. The lights from the buildings across felt like jewels. I was wealthy. The richest child in the world, everything existed for me. There was even a version of the moon made just to console me. I still take her out on nights when the longing takes over. My moon remembers my real name. I remember hers too. How are we feeling for one more? Or are we saturated? Yeah? Okay. I will end on like a more like fierce, angry note. I hope you don't mind. Last year, I learned that freedom tastes like salt and iron, like gritted teeth, like nails dug deep into the earth looking for roots, like busted lips and knuckles bruised on Old Testaments, like blood shed for children I refuse to bear out of fear of some rusty old clock ticking in my grandmother's kitchen. I stand tall, watching the red trickle from between my thighs as my feet rest after a long run from all the things that no longer serve me. I lick my wounds on my own now. I've learned that there's a price for outsourcing the licking. And while some call this act of delegation love, I call it self-aversion. And after I'm done with naming and calling, I sit back and watch my mirrors shatter. Their shards split my tongue open, and I start speaking words that are older than me. Words that sound like hissing snakes. Words that sound like hissing snakes, running streams, and everything unholy for a woman, everything forbidden. A line keeps playing on repeat in my head, and it says, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. This hunger is no longer deep enough for me to beg for crumbs at someone else's table. I know where to eat now. I know what I taste like. And it's iron and salt. Thank you.
Snap your fingers.